Hello, and this is my Google Portfolio video, my final video and audio for this unit plan. And I will be answering some questions. The first one, how have instructional models of teaching used in your unit plan relate to your TEKS unit goals and summative assessments? There are various instructional models that relate to my TEKS, unit goals, and summative assessments because I use an array of models that back up how my unit plan was created. Under the basic information processing model, technology was a big part of the model, which I utilized throughout my lessons. I tried to incorporate technology into the class lectures and or assignments because we are in modern times and we must adjust with the ever so changing generations. The teaching methods involved were learning to learn inductively and scientific inquiry, which I will go into detail in the following question. I also utilized the special purpose information model, which basically entails the various tools you provide that help the student learn and grasp onto concepts to apply to their learning experience. The teaching methods for this model that were used: concept attainment, memorization, and advanced organizers. The unit tries to target concept attainment by having students openly discuss responses and give out input to their perspective of answers, and also to get students to feel comfortable engaging in the lesson because once engaged, you are able to hear the student's way of thinking. And they will have the courage to even take chances and try to input their thought, whether correct or incorrect. The type of advanced organizers I used were graphic organizers, which for the most part were pages of notes that the students had on hand that they could use when discussing information, just so they could kind of have it as a guide. Um, Sometimes you could look at information and already make the assumption of a particular situation or item or product or whatever, just based on the basic information that you have. Also, it's different from just a basic oral lecture. You're actually seeing it, but not only seeing it, you have it right there in front of you. You get to keep it, get to put it in their notes, etc. The same thing with the PowerPoints. I'm providing a PowerPoint, but on top of the PowerPoint, they have their student version of that PowerPoint that has missing keywords within each slide. So they have to pay attention. They have to be on task, because if they miss a keyword, hey, I'm going to give them maybe 10-15 minutes on the summative assessment unit plan, on the summative assessment for the unit plan, to be able to take out those notes and briefly go over it and see if they could answer any questions with the information that they got. So that is why it's important for them to stay on task, answer those keywords, because it might come in handy. And well, yeah, that's it. The social family model was also utilized when discussing the student group work within each lesson, and although I could have focused on two, I solely decided to focus on one particular type of teaching method that is called partners in learning. This method is seen as the students work on their actual activity for each lesson. The way I take partners in learning is not necessarily working as a group, working together for that same grade, working on one assignment. How I look at it is either they have their own assignment or they have one assignment, but they either have their own tasks to worry about, or they're able to help each other, but they are not doing the same thing. But they could still help each other. They're helping each other learn, but they're not doing the same thing. So that's how I see partners in learning. I also utilize the personal family model of non-directive teaching and the behavior model of explicit directive instruction when actually teaching each lesson. These will help the students fully grasp the concepts of each lesson because the teacher will engage with students, make students think, and encourage students with the teachers while the teacher is enhancing student understanding of material. Instruction is always lecture, but using discussions, PowerPoint, videos, etc. can not only differentiate the presentation of material, but make the lesson interesting because it is different. What new or unique methods of teaching diversity scenarios or philosophers did you learn from the project that will impact your teaching in the future? I learned how to incorporate my philosopher underpinnings to my unit plan and how my philosophers previously learned prior to the class is merged into the perspective of my onlook of teaching now. Some new teaching methods or methods I knew of but didn't know they were considered methods were the ones I previously discussed in the question prior. How to learn with reason, how to solve problems through scientific inquiry, and coming to those conclusions on what is being taught. How working in partners is an actual teaching method, and how working together but independently does make a difference in each student's learning. I am currently not an educator, but truly will take these methods and models into consideration when teaching because this gives me a more perspective outlook on teaching due to the fact that I went through the alternative certification route and nothing regarding actual teaching practices or methods were taught to me. It's basically module after module after module of basic information. For example, drugs that students could be exposed to. Okay, now where do I go from there? They don't, I mean, that's it. I mean, that's the only information you're going to give me. But that's how it is. Same thing with, when it talks about the disabilities in general. I mean, a general education teacher could benefit from information on how to teach special ed kids or at least accommodate or whatever. And in an alternative program, it's literally just one little module that talks about the different disorders, and that's it. That's it. Nothing. It's just basically giving you the definition of each disability, and that's it. I mean, what help is that? There is no tips, no nothing. So those are some things that you could take into consideration with the route that I'm going into. What teaching methods or innovative assessment techniques will help you organize, administer, or discuss assessment results with students, parents, administrators in the future? Innovative assessment techniques that will help when discussing results with students, parents, and administrators are the use of record keeping, the performance assessments, any rubrics, written response assessments, selective response assessments, portfolios, and even conferences that involve evaluation forms and provide evidence of what students have done to back up what you have taught and that you have taught, and also that shows what the student has done. I mean, if a student is saying, oh, the teacher hates me, the teacher's failing me, your biggest backup is going to be the evidence behind what they are saying. So if they are saying that, but you have a whole portfolio or a whole folder on that student with all his work and everything he's done and everything he has turned in has been incomplete or wasn't even submitted or missing or whatever, I mean, that's going to be a proof right there to back you up in case situations like that occur. And even the teacher or myself, what we have done to help with the problem area is a concern. And this concludes this video.